One of the biggest questions that a starseed asks themselves at this moment in time is, who am I? Who am I? And where am I from? Because a lot of the time we feel like we don't quite fit in to all the mainstream things that are happening on Earth. Well, that's okay. We need to go into the mainstream to understand what's going on and maybe all the distortions, etc. But what we're not always doing is understanding and actually taking action to really understand the wholeness of us, understand that multidimensionality part of us, of who am I really, where am I from? And so most importantly, what is my mission on earth? If I am here to help raise consciousness, how do I do that? How do I do that with little old me, with these human body limitations? And that is what we're going to talk about on this week's podcast of Shifting Realities with me, your host, Julie Allison, and my good friend and host and co-host, Robert Perry.
Hi there.
Right. So it is a massive question that we get from a lot of people. And I even hear a lot of people say about this because we seem to feel so different from everybody. And yet there's probably more and more star seeds starting to activate. And what we mean by that is starting to remember that part of being awake is suddenly remembering. I'm going to say who we are, but we tend to block that a bit because we don't really want to accept it. We're not really accepting and owning who we are as a star seed, or indeed, we can even be earth seeds, but here with a particular mission. Perhaps we are here to help heal the grids in the earth because that's equally important to help heal us as a grid, us as a hologram, a grid, to really embody who we are. So, what do you think about it, Rob?
I think we shouldn't underestimate how difficult it is when you are born into a 3D reality and a set of 3D
Mm,
programming that we all recognize and understand. It's incredibly hard to break out of it.
mm,
And you feel the disconnect. I think we've spoken about this before.
yeah.
And I said something like, your head is still in the cosmos, but your body has been slammed into this
Yes.
3D reality
Mm,
by choice. But here you are trying to work out why you don't fit.
mm,
Why don't I conform? Why don't I think the same as everybody else? Why aren't I towing the line? And a lot of starseeds then start to toe the line because
yes.
that's an easier solution. And they suppress what they're here to sort out and do and just follow like sheep, like many humans, just sheep along
Yep.
after whoever is playing the pipe at the time. But you can't ever escape the fact that you're uneasy with that. And you'll feel it. Any starseed feels intrinsically that they are not 100% of this earth. And for many, many years, we've looked at people who thought, oh, they're, a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic
Yeah.
there. And they're often people who are slightly lost and trying to find what their mission is because
Yes.
they know they have a higher mission. And how do I do it? How do I break out of this conditioning and do it? And so when people start to do it, it can be difficult for other people to accept. So what do? Then you put a lid on it again because
Mm,
you don't like people pointing at you. But the honest truth is you have to let people point,
mm,
have to stand up, you have to take authority in what you're doing. You have to work like crazy to understand what you're here to do. And it's not that you don't know it, it's that you've forgotten it.
yes.
So you have to reconnect with the reason you came here. So why did I choose, of all places, to have a lifespan on this earth or another lifespan on this earth if you've been around a few times? Because it ain't easy.
No.
You've come from resonating at an entirely different frequency, and now you are in this dense, solid, opinionated muck that is hard to move. So it's difficult. You've got to do a whole lot of work with yourself, recognize what you are, and find in years, and it took me years and years and years,
Oh, yes.
decades to work out what I'm here to do. And I still don't have the full answer, but I think I have a fair idea of what I'm doing, and I am now doing it. The more I
Mm,
do it, the more I get from it, and the more I realize why I'm doing it. So that's a rather convoluted answer to just say it's really hard. But you have to stand on your soapbox. You have to say, I chose to come here. I have this message for you. Please listen. And you have to allow that to calibrate with people.
Mm.
Some will listen, some won't. Some will listen and reject, some will listen and accept. And as a starseed, you're looking for those that listen and accept,
Yeah.
and then come along on the journey and want to start their own development. And I don't mind who you are. I don't mind if you're another starseed or an earth seed. I don't mind if you're none of those seeds. If you have a mind that wants to be something, wants to travel somewhere, wants to understand there is a reason to be here, apart from just to live a good life and do the best you can. Yes, that's the fundament of life purpose. But if you've chosen Earth as a mission, you need to deliver the mission, deliver on the mission as best a degree as you can. And that's really challenging. You've got to fight all the time to be heard. You've got to stand up in a crowded room and say, this is what I believe. And you've got to allow people to reject it,
Yeah.
because enough people will accept it.
Yes,
And as you said earlier, Julia, more and more people are waking up,
they are. Mm.
which is terrific. Starseeds or otherwise, people are going, hang on, there is so much more. Why have I not heard this? Why have I not listened to this? And you and I come across people every day that
Mm.
are keen to learn. They
Oh,
might not know what
yes.
they're here to learn or how to do it, but they are open and game for it. Anything you throw at them as part of their experience of development, their frequency change into a new earth. So there's tremendously exciting work to do, but you've got to get up there. Got to put your
Yeah.
head over the parapet like you and I do in this podcast
Yes.
and say, I am a starseed. I am thrilled to be a starseed. I chose to come here and I have a message. Please listen.
Yeah. We've
Difficult,
got
but
it.
doable.
Yeah, we've almost got both ways. You've got to stand in order to stand in that element of being a starseed, that version of yourself that where everything suddenly becomes effortless and everything's coming to you. Everything's manifesting to you that you need. You first of all got to be that person. So
Yeah.
if you're not accepting it, if you're denying it, I've been like this many times in resistance to it. I've got my next level I'm stepping into and I'm still resistant to it. And I'm earning that and finding out what I'm resistance to. So all the time I'm cleaning and cleaning and clearing all the past, because as starseeds or earthseeds, there's been a time when we've been rejected, even in the cosmos, even in the
Mm.
galactic lives. And you see, there's no doubt about it. I have seen, and I've just had it confirmed with other people seeing, I've just been to a conference at Glastonbury, and other people are seeing this, and that is, we have had many, many different lives, both galactic and then as human, but many lives and we've done so much training in order for us to come down, to descend as a human, to live a human existence in amongst everybody else. Remember, that is what we've chosen. We literally are in a queue. Our souls are in a queue to come down on earth. And I hear all of you now saying, oh, why on earth would we come here to live this life of polarity, this life of duality? But that is just more of what we're experiencing, with a view to understanding now we've descended. All we're doing now is, right, how do we ascend? And again, so which is why me as a starseed, I want to learn more. I'm keen to learn more and then share what I've learned, or share what's activated in me. And it was an ascension a meeting, an ascension conference that I went to for 3 days. So I've been, I know that I've had many more activations where I can remember who I was. Even in Glastonbury, I felt at home. And before then, my limitation on Glastonbury was, oh, I'm not going to go there. No, 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 guys, I'm not going to go there. It's just very commercial, full of witches, tarot card readers. No, it's not for me. But at the moment I stepped on that soil, on that earth, I was home. And I know I've got work to do in East Yorkshire, but just at that moment in time, I didn't really want to come back. I am back in Yorkshire now and I have work to do. But from that, I know I was activated myself, which means I've got more data codes in me. That might sound a bit technical, but literally, I've got that information to share with others. And this is how me and Rob are starting to share all the things we've seen, we've heard, we've used our clear senses on, and listen to other people to get that confirmation of, her. So I am a starseed, right? So there is a mission, and it's far bigger than any of us could ever imagine. That's because my human body has been suppressed, conditioned to just feel in limitation. The thing is, here we also have an element where we just think we're trained. Our brain is just trained from being a baby upwards to think in linear terms, to not have that wider that expansive soul knowledge. And this is what we've got to move beyond as well. This is what we've got to transcend if we are to earn our missions. We have to understand that we are bigger than just the earth. We're healing us and the earth. But as starseeds, we're also helping the earth because we need to help ourselves as well. So it's ascension for everybody. And so really it is about, it's just stepping into owning who you are. Whilst I was at the conference, I heard a few people saying, I don't like talking. I'll see things, I'll get information for people, but I don't like to tell them that. And I said, you need to share everything. You need to share it out of who you are and what you do. The other thing about this, Rob, I don't know if you agree, and that's absolutely fine, or understanding, but I'll see somebody who isn't stepping into the mission, and me included. I'm not
Mm,
immune from this. They don't
yeah.
step into the full mission, and we say before, if you're not stepping into your purpose, that it's okay, that nothing happens. But in actual fact, what I do see is that our bodies then start to have aches and pains, and something just isn't working right. You can't get the job that you feel that you need to get just to earn the money, or something's going wrong physically in your body. And when somebody comes to me with that physical pain, because obviously as a massage therapist, somebody's just wanting that physical pain, me to take that physical pain away. And yes, sometimes that's absolutely fine, or it's fine for 6 months. But in actual fact, what I do see is that that person isn't earning their space. Let's say they're not writing that book, or they're not taking up a business that works with clients or one-to-one, or they're frightened or in fear to go on the stage to share the data codes. The data codes are activated as a starseed, all that information that's coming through from many, many lives of really intense training that we've had. And I'm going to say right now, both in the light and the dark. I'll just leave it there for that. But to actually then come into, because I used to hide away from the dark. Oh no, I only want to be love and light. And then we get another bombshell. You've got to see the dark, and here it is right in front of you, Julie. And so there's lots of ways we need to earn and accept and you just, literally just take ownership of your mission, don't we, Rob?
Absolutely, you do. I do agree with you that if you don't follow your mission, things
Yeah.
happen to you, and that they can
Yes.
manifest as physical ailments. And I could put my hand up to that. Having stayed in a job for ages that I should have got out of,
Yeah.
I developed
Yeah.
a serious condition, back condition,
Ah, yeah.
which the day I left disappeared and never came back.
There we go.
So,
There we
that was a
go.
lesson. I had it in the back of my mind why I had this problem with my back, but I didn't quite understand it. It was only when I actually quit what I was doing to pursue what I ought to be doing, which is this,
Mm.
that resolved.
Yes.
And it wasn't a slow resolve. It simply has never happened again. So that debilitating pain that would actually leave me bedbound for days and unable to stand up is no more.
Yep.
And other cases of that I can witness myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. It does. Whether we should, it's not that we're not pointing fingers when we say that
No,
at all.
absolutely not. It's not. No.
And if we were, we are guilty as charged, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
we're not free of it. It's just the recognition that if you do the work you're here to do, things start to fall in line.
Yes.
Things fall away as well, and it can be unsettling, I think.
Yeah, the things that you have
Go
to
into
let go
periods of
of.
instability and questioning, don't you? That are
Yeah.
quite hard, and you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
re-navigate your life and reset your compass, as it were.
Yes.
So
You
that's
do.
a challenge in itself. But when you start to feel the benefits and you start to see it in other people, it just accelerates and accelerates. And there is no stopping you.
Yeah.
You can't stop. You and I don't think could stop what we're doing.
Yeah. And it's your belief, isn't it, Rob, in it all?
Absolutely. And you have to own that belief
Yeah.
and tell people what you believe.
Yes.
Back to the beginning of
No
this
matter
conversation
what.
about standing up and being counted.
Yeah.
Believe and be vocal about your belief.
Yeah.
And that's not a question of forcing it.
Oh, yeah.
I would never be dogmatic and say this is what is. I will say this is what I think is. What do you think is?
Yeah. You can still be
And let's
discerning.
explore that together.
Yeah. Who you
Yeah,
talk
so
to.
yeah, discerning, always discerning, and always coming back to your heart center and thinking, what do I truly think? Where did I come from? What has my journey been over eons that we can't even understand? We little linear thinkers. We have
Yes.
no concept
We don't.
of how many times we have been around and are around and will be around in different parts of everywhere. It's beyond our knowledge. I had a message this morning from an ET indicating to me that when disclosure comes to humanity, some people will not be able to cope because the enormity of it is just beyond comprehension, beyond human comprehension. So here's you and I, Julie, as junior Starseeds 1 and 2,
Yes.
doing our best to get
Cadets.
people up to a level, because
Yeah.
the more you raise your frequency, the more you meet what could be the new reality of this earth, the better chance you have of surviving it
More than
and not
survival,
imploding.
thriving. Yeah. More
Thriving.
chance you have of
Absolutely.
absolutely thriving on Earth, which is what we're all.
Yeah.
This is about ascension. Ascension is not necessarily, oh, I'm going to ascend and, oh, thank goodness for that. I'm going to get off this earth. I'm going to get on the first spaceship and get off this earth, which is what a lot of people do think. No, it's about embracing Earth, embracing everything we have, where you do feel, where you can go to places and do feel so at home. I'd still feel at home in East Yorkshire, but when you get a new home, sometimes it's a bit more exciting. Then, maybe I'm just an old hat at East Yorkshire. But yeah, it's just about embracing everything, isn't it? With me and Rob, we love to show people the galactic origins, or at least what you'll get is just when we look into it, the guides will give us, or will be shown your guide as your higher self or future self or past self, however you want to imagine it. It's all there. A future self will come through. Of course, it's not quite the future, it's still already being done, but already being done person, the future self will come to you and say, this is what you've got to do. So we guide you into your unique mission. It's wonderful when when we have done that. What I find is then people, they start dropping away and start coming back to your human version of yourself. And, oh no, I couldn't do this because something 3D got in the way, because there's tests for us about what you need to let go, and we don't let it go, we let it get in the way. And we all need to live in 3D lives. That's, again, as Rob said, we're not here to just say everything's love and light and you just have to forget everything in 3D. That's not what it's about. It's about embracing the 3D as well as all the other dimensions and all the multi-dimensional selves of us. It's embodying everything together. That's the acceptance of it. When we say embodying, it's owning, it's taking, it's accepting, it's stepping into, it's embodying, embracing, stepping into who you really are. So that if we have that question and we don't have the clarity, it's because we've got some resistance to owning to that, and what you should should be doing. So it's wonderful when you do find out. I feel, even after the last few days of going to Glastonbury, I feel more and more clarity yet again of who I need to work with, and that is Starseeds. Literally activating me and Rob. I would call us both teachers and activators. So DNA
Yeah.
activation, once again, is literally allowing you to just flick the switch to remembering, ah, maybe I was a Palladian, maybe I was an Arcturian, but it's not just about you being a Palladian and Arcturian and then cutting it off and that's it. It's about who were you as that Palladian Arcturian, and activating your mission. How are you here to heal the earth? What's your little old me, little old body here to do? Body, mind, ego. What are you here as a human vessel to do to heal? And that becomes more wonderful because it's just growing and growing the abilities we have. We're going to be more superhuman. So Rob and I were talking before about even being telepathic, looking at your clair senses and developing that. And one of the things we've got from the guides is, I certainly the other week, I almost got told off. I like saying I got told off from the guides because they like to have fun with me, but that we've talked about meditation a lot, and you don't have to call it meditation. You can just go in and go into the forest or go to the beach. But as we progress more, the guides are saying to me, we have to spend more and more time just sitting within ourselves in meditation to really understand who we are, to get those big downloads. And that's just because as humans, we're too much in our, in the mind, in the monkey mind, and we're not allowing ourselves to slow down those brain waves to understand, just getting to that 0 point of who you are and who you can be in the next version of you, the next version, the next breath, the next breath. How can you step forward to really become the whole entirety, as much as we can be in our humanness at this moment in time? Yeah.
Indeed. And it is terrifically exciting because it's limitless.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely limitless. And the more you do and the more you experience within yourself, the more the light bulb goes off, and you develop and you develop and you develop.
Mm.
And every time it's like, I had no idea. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And
Mm.
you're open to more and more and more. Guides come in and you work and you travel together and you just progress at a speed you won't expect.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really won't expect,
absolutely.
because once you commit and you accept your authority and you have the courage to stand up and say, I am and I will,
Mm.
it's like a boulder going downhill. There's no stopping it.
Absolutely.
Terrifically exciting.
Yes, so
So,
much.
why sit like a boulder perched on top of the hill when you can roll fast?
Yes, yes, yeah. And just get these amazing, amazing things that you would never, with our limited humanness, would never expect. Even our human, the speech we have, the words we use, cannot ever, ever describe what you see when you connect with the guides, when you really sit within and allow that stillness, allow yourself to drop into heart space, allow yourself to go to the 0 point and understand, within the quantum, or I'm going to say all of who you are, but even now, I don't think we're seeing it all. But I'm so awestruck of the things we're seeing, the colours you see, what we're hearing, different sounds, all sorts of things that you can't get just being in beta mode, in your humanness, in the human mind thinking. But of course, all that's happened is we're conditioned just to think from mind and work from ego.
Yeah.
But it's embracing everything, really embracing soul to help soul expand.
If we
Yeah.
consider, Julie, that we only use, and we know scientifically, we only use a tiny
Mm.
percentage of our brain's function,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's just one organ in our body
Yeah.
that does our critical thinking for us.
Yeah.
We only use a tiny percentage of everything that we've got just as humans.
Yes.
So if you start to grow the use of those, across everything, grow the use of your
Yeah.
heart, grow
Yes.
the use of your energies and your dimensional potentials.
Yes.
Just without even ascending, we have potential. Imagine if you just extrapolate that potential
Yeah.
across time and dimension.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is no limit. Everything is
Absolutely.
possible.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting to be able to take people to a point where they can start to see it
Yeah. Yeah.
and get their own journey on board.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do anyway, get
Look,
people to
oh,
their
absolutely.
own starting point to go, off you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. To start understanding who they are.
Yeah.
Who am I? Start understanding that from a healed perspective. You're getting, why am I? Why
Yeah.
is this thing happening in the world? Well, one of the things is I embrace this belief system to manifest, but who am I? Am I actually stepping in to make things manifest? But by stepping into being part of the whole Starseed mission or Earthseed mission? Am I stepping in to do my bit to help humanity here? And then help, and that's all about helping ourselves. It's all about ascension, but it's, more than that just at the moment. It's about what we'd class as healing.
Yeah.
So just have a think about what's nudging you. Do you have any, physical things that are just niggling that you've obviously had, you might have had for many years. It's just something that you learn to live with. But do you need to live with it, or is everything just feeling stuck in the body? And just have that awareness. Is that just something telling you that there's something more to give for yourself? You don't have to. Not everybody has to be on the stage. It could simply be that you're somebody, and when you step into embracing yourself, you could be somebody who's a doctor, solicitor, nurse, works on the counter in a shop and giving your data codes out by just chatting to people and making them feel better. It really is, it can be as simple as that, or it can be something like Rob and Matt I do, and that's a bit more, and it's not a hierarchy. It's just the missions we chose. We literally
Yeah.
chose this and wanted to come down to help everybody. So it's about embracing everything. It's about teaching people, activating people, and also taking in the listening to who you are and activating yourself as well by listening to those who are teachers. And it just goes round in a circle. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great circle though, and
Okay,
it's a lot of
yeah,
fun.
it is. A cycle is more than
Yeah.
a circle also has its infinite as well. It just keeps going round in a loop. So I hope that's helped you all. As I say, me and Rob are here for helping anybody who wants to find the Starseed origins, or just even know a little bit more about their gifts, if they have an inkling of what they do, but just don't know how to fall into that. There's things that we can see that is maybe your ego stopping you. Yeah, it's really good fun to do all this. And anybody can, if you, it would really appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, download, everything else.
Comment.
Comment to us. If there's anything else you'd like to hear from us, we'd really appreciate it. And so that's a wrap for this week. Bye for now.
Bye then.